Hi, go out with me on a one-day trip through the mountains of Wicklow to the lakes of Glendalough. So, I'm living in Mullingar, and everything goes by Dublin. In Ireland, wherever you want to go, if you're taking the public transport, it will still stop in Dublin. So I had to take my first train to Dublin, met my friends there. We took the first bus, and this was the first stop where our guide took us, and this was a church. And then we went to different historical places, including the cathedral, the castle, a rock house, and this is the famous butter slip. It was actually surprising how well the historical places have been preserved. And then our guide actually talked about a lot about the history, how the Irish government got back the castle in just about 20 euros, and they had a ticket of about 20 euros on a visit, which wasn't even worth it. And then we stopped for coffee. This is my friend who actually asked for a cheesecake. Does not look like a cheesecake, but at least it was good. So, yeah. After the coffee break, we head out into town again. We started to walk around town, saw a couple of older buildings. The Rock House was one of it. Actually, about Ireland, even the towns are very clean, especially when you're calling them towns in villages, And then we got to one of the main highlights of the day, which was the Round Tower and Cathedral. The guide was actually not with us, but she already gave us an overview about the history. This was a cathedral that was turned into a graveyard after the massacres of people coming from all over the world through the lives that they have lost. It was a cathedral in the center, and there was a graveyard all around it. I did go into it, but did not want to spend money because it was a church after all. Sorry. So we came back, and while I was touring the area, my friends went into the Round Tower, and by the time I was actually done exploring, they were out of their wits' end because none of them actually thought that he or she would be a claustrophobic, but the Round Tower only allows one person at a time. There were a lot of people from, I could not read the name out of these graves, but some of them were, I think one of them was actually a Palestinian warrior who lost his life here with his family, and they put a monument for him. And here it was, the cathedral in all its glory. After 2 centuries even, still kept intact, huh? One good thing about this day was that it did not rain at all. And it was, oh my god, because it would have ruined everything. And here is my friend coming out of the Round Tower after her trip of about 20 minutes up. And then we walked along the Nora River to get back to the place where we're supposed to gather to get the bus for another hour of drive to our next destination, which is Glendalough. And you can see a lot of cherry blossom at this time of the year in Ireland because that's the only time when you see them. But it's actually very beautiful. And it was about an hour's ride. And the guide kept on talking about the history of Glendalough, the places there, what we could possibly see. And I don't know what it is with them, but they just kept on mentioning about the sheep farm. I'm not sure if it is an English thing or she just loved sheep. Well, Irish do love sheep because Ireland is ranked number 1 in sheep raising farms. Meanwhile, we made a stop about 10 minutes before Glendalough, and then we met a very good friend. Oh, he was really friendly and chubby and fluffy. But the moment was short-lived, and we started our trek. This was the first beautiful place. Could not. Just the camera doesn't do justice to the beauty of this place. Then we had a trek of about 2.2 kilometers, I think. Took us about 30 minutes maybe. This was the first stop, the Lower Lake. Very famous, very quiet. And then we walked up ahead a little bit, and then this was the Upper Lake. I asked my friend to come join in, but she was too scared to come in. But it's not like me being the useless of, it was the most I could do. Since I don't know how to swim, couldn't possibly go drown myself willingly, right? But there were people who, I don't know though. The water was freezing cold. But yeah, Irish are built different, I would say. We were just sitting there at the far east corner. There were actually people who went ahead for a swim in this freezing cold water. I don't know if I could, even if I knew how to swim. This was my friend, the dogs, chilling, and then my friend had a failed attempt of throwing rocks in the river. After that, we just packed our bags, got into the bus to reach our last destination, the sheep farm. Sheep farm is not just a hobby, but they are passed on from generation to generation. So that's what they did. They gave us a history about this sheep farm. People clicked photos with the baby sheeps, and I had to take back the train to Mullingar from Dublin and call it a day because I had to work the very next day. But it was a good day. All worth it. See you next time.